Kyabram District Health Service Board members acknowledge the contribution of the many people, including volunteers, past and current staff and board members who have been involved in making Kdhs the great health service we see today. We also acknowledge the community that have contributed in donations and fundraising events. To celebrate, we present you the timeline showcasing our history. Thank you.
My name's Peter Han. I was on the board at the hospital here from 1980 to 2000. My role this morning is to talk about the earlier days. In 1930, a new committee was formed to establish a Kyabram Bush Nursing Hospital. This was quite a significant step forward, particularly for what was then quite a smallish town. 1933, the new Bush Nursing Hospital was opened at the corner of Saunders Street and Allen Street. In 1944, this is just prior to the end of the Second World War, a meeting was held at the Kye Valley Hall. Now, Kye Valley was such a strong community during that period. 29 people attended. They unanimously agreed that they should start a fund, a levy of £10 per farm and £5 per household. And that's testimony to the generosity that existed then and still exists now in this community towards the hospital. In 1945, during September of that year, there was a much larger meeting held in Kyabram, 60 or 70 people, and they decided to expand the committee and become quite serious about fundraising and lobbying to get a decent community hospital built, and that it should be named the Kyabram District Memorial Community Hospital in honour of the people that had died during, the locals basically, that had died during World War II. They had a plaque laying ceremony in 1958. The hospital was on the way. I'd just like to say what an honour it's been to have played a small part in the success of the Kyabram Hospital. To have been invited and asked to be on the board, as I say, was a great honour. It was something that I will remember and treasure, and to have been made a life governor of this place gives me a great sense of pride and pleasure. Thank you.
The 1960s and the 1970s were the initial period and the consolidating period settling the new Kyabram District Memorial Community Hospital. So the Kyabram District Memorial Community Hospital was opened on the 27th of March 1960. In 1961, the first garden party was held under the organisation of the Ladies Auxiliary, and that grew into what became known as the Community Fete. And that was held for a consecutive 50 years. So it had its initial period in 1961. 1963, the hospital kiosk was opened, and then in 1965, a new 14-bed wing was opened with funds that had been totally donated from community support. 1966 saw the children ward open, and then in 1969, the district nursing service commenced throughout the entire district and region. In 1977 saw the Kyabram Hospital having 66 beds, 86 staff, and also in 1977 Dr McQueen Thompson commenced practicing in Kyabram, and he's still practicing today.
I'm Mark Chalker. I worked at the Kyabram Hospital for 42.5 years. I am a very proud life governor of the hospital, and I'm also the president of the Ladies Auxiliary, and our aim is to earn some money and give back to the hospital. Well, over 42 years, I think I worked in every department of the hospital, going in on the floor, in the nursing home, in theatre. Yes, lots of jobs, and I also was Deputy Director of Nursing, and then I went into the role of Director of Nursing and back down the ladder to being an evening supervisor. I mean, we had a wonderful board at the time and good managers, and they had a vision of our hospital to grow, to give better service to the community of Kyabram. I must say that I have enjoyed every minute of my life at this hospital.
My father's involvement. I'd had a heart operation in 1999, and he got the urge to give a donation to Kdhs, and the hospital used it for a heart monitor ward, and which we were very grateful for. But they named the ward after Dad, and he's still remembered for the initial contribution.
Our thoughts on the hospital is that it's wonderful to have this facility to help our local community. Many benefits that we've got having the hospital here.
My name is Nicole Inglis. It's my pleasure today to unveil the timeline for the years 2000 to 2017. The 21st century saw many significant milestones, not least of which was the change of name from hospital to Kyabram District Health Service. Kdhs continued to expand the services offered, requiring significant building works. These included a new theatre complex, accident and emergency department and kiosk, the two final stages of our Sheridan nursing home, community and allied health building, the Health and Wellbeing Centre, including our cafe, our palliative care suite and our cancer centre. The support of volunteers in our community continued to be a backbone of many of the works and services that Kdhs could offer. Bill Norman was president of the Kyabram Heart Group for 10 years, overseeing the donation of $120,000 to Kdhs during that time. The Ladies Auxiliary, who had run a fate fundraiser for many years, continued to raise significant funds and to this day still volunteer their time at the cafe. Sadly, 2011 saw the passing of our well-known local doctor, Dr. Peter Tisdall, and in 2017, Ray Chuan, one of our life governors and an incredible community advocate, passed away. This time is particularly important to me as I served on the board of Kdhs from 2010 to 2020, being the chair of the Quality and Safety Committee for many years and chair of the board for the last 3 years. Ensuring that we have a vibrant service that provides services our community needs as well as employment and career opportunities for our community, is what drives my commitment to Kdhs.
Actually, we're part of the heart support group, and what we do is here for companionship, support for anyone who has had a heart problem. We've sold tomatoes and raised money through raffles and sausage sizzles and all that.
I had a heart attack and I was flown to Melbourne and had an operation and came home, and I got enrolled with the heart support. And then we've raised hundreds of money for the hospital.
Close to $250,000.
We give all our money to here because it's such a wonderful hospital. We're very proud to have it all here in Kayapum.
Began in a board meeting in 2014. We were very well aware that we were making a lot of physical changes to the hospital, the health service, and we knew that we needed to keep up and honour the people who had put so much into the facility in the past. So we talked about having an honorarium board. We knew that we were demolishing the Frances Wallace wing and that we would want to continue to honour her for the work that she did in the early days of the hospital. So we decided that maybe we could have a timeline. I think the discussion came up that we wanted not just to show the dates of when things happened, but we also wanted to show the number of people who contributed over the years.
Yeah, the timeline, I think, is another way of keeping our history, because as generations pass on, a lot of what happened in the past gets lost. People's memories aren't there anymore, and there was so much that the community contributed to the hospital over the years and still does, and that I think really needs to be captured and for people to look at and remember and see, because this health service wouldn't be what it is without the input from the community.